What if I told you that your inbox can manage itself? Emails can reply to themselves, and meetings can be booked for you automatically. This can all be done without using any paid tools. If this sounds like something that you'd like to learn how to build, keep watching and I'll show you how I got this set up. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Dave and I show you how to build AI agents and automations. Alright, so today what I have for you is just an n8n workflow. This time I made a couple anti-gravity videos, but this was just going to be within n8n because that's all we need here. But as I mentioned earlier, this is a workflow that automates your inbox for you. It replies to any customer emails and it can book meetings for you. Now, before I dive deep into the workflow here, just going to explain maybe some of the use cases that you can use this for. So let's say you have a separate email just for people to ask questions, and common questions like, when are your business hours? Are you open this Monday? What services do you provide? How much does this cost? How much does that cost? Etc. etc. And let's say you're just too busy, you can't keep up with all these emails. Maybe you're the type of business that gets these type of emails, 24/7, an online service or something like that. Well, this would be perfect for that because you can just set up a knowledge base for the AI agent that has all the answers that people are asking, right? Like business hours, services, things like that. Answers all those questions for them, providing them with accurate answers, no hallucinations, all while you're sleeping or doing something else, running your business. And then if it can't answer the question, you can perhaps have it set so like, oh, hey, I don't know the answer to that question. Refer to this website or, this email address or something like that. And then depending on what type of business you have, let's say you meet with people, whether online or in person, the agent can book that meeting for you and schedules it on your calendar. So those are just a few examples. Let me get into this workflow now and I'll show you how this is set up. So the trigger right here, of course, is when an email is received. Now I'm going to be using my test account today. So I just deleted all the emails just to keep it nice and clean for the video. Of course, this is the AI agent. This is what's handling everything right here. It's hooked up to this knowledge base right here, which is just, I just made some mock data here. None of this is actually part of my business here, but I just had this here. It just basically has basic information, contact information, business hours, location, types of services that I provide, or, what it says in the document, provide. And I'll also be using my calendar here. Okay, so this is what it has for its tools. It has its knowledge base, of course, has an LLM, and then it's using its memory. So this is so it can go back and forth between the customer in case they have any conversations right here. This brings out the output in a certain way for the rest of the flow here. So of course it has the reply to customer, marks the message as read, and then adds a label, which I'll show you in a bit. Just saying that it's answered just for organizational purposes. I have this if node right here. So if there's a meeting date present, then it goes ahead and adds the customer to an Excel spreadsheet. So this can be set up just for your records, just to keep things organized, and then it notifies you through Discord. If there's no meeting date, that's it. The workflow drops. You can add a notification here too if you like, but if you're going back and forth, you may not want those types of constant notifications, especially if this is a busy mailbox for you. So that's the setup right here. What I'm going to be doing is I'll be sharing this template completely for free. It has this calendar agent right here, which is this workflow right here. This is a sub workflow. Now, if you've been watching all of my videos and following along to those, particularly the ones about the AI assistant, you would have had this set up already. So what you can do, you just add the tool. You just add a tool, call n8n workflow, and then select your calendar sub workflow. There's a slight addition that you might need to make which I'll show you how. But if you have not watched any of those videos and you don't have this set up, I will put the template for this as well, together with this one too, just to make sure that everyone has what they need. That I'll just make available in my n8n workflow. I'll put a link into the description down below, and you can just go there, download that, and follow along with this video. But that's it for just the overview of how this works. Without further ado, let's continue on, and I'll show you how this is all set up and configured. Alright, so let's do a quick little demo just to show you this workflow in action. So right now I have it unpublished, so I can execute it manually, and you can see how this whole thing works. So what I'm going to do is I have this email here that I'm about to send. So I'm just going to ask, hi, can you tell me about your starter bundle? Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to fire that off. While I wait for the email to arrive, I'm just asking about my business hours, which is right here. And then I also asked about this starter bundle. Okay, and just by the way, none of this is actually real, so I don't actually call this number or email these addresses. But let's go to my mailbox. There it is. So again, I have this unpublished, so it's not going to run automatically. Let's execute this workflow now, and then we'll see how it replies. So I'm just going to hit execute. Okay, so it saves my email address, the one that I used to send, into the memory here to maintain this conversation. Okay, and it replies. All right, so I got the reply. It says, hi, David. Thank you for reaching out. Business hours tells me right here. Tells me about emergency support. Yep, yeah, that's it right there. And then, yeah, there's the information about the starter bundle. And it answered my question. Perfect. Let's do a quick little reply. So I'm just going to reply. I'm going to say, what other bundles do you have? I just have that window off screen. I'll be able to see it right here come in. Right there. Let's execute this manually again. And then it shouldn't be talking as if it's reaching out for the very first time. It should act like it's continuing the conversation. So we're going to see that here. Okay, and let's see if I got that reply. I got it right here. And starter bundle info. Get that subject. I might remove this re thing later, but yeah, then it talks about the other bundles. And then it for me, then it asks if I would like to book a meeting. If I were to say, yeah, let's set a time. Let me do that right now. Okay, let's say, sure. Let's meet for April, let's just say 12. 12. 6 at 1 p.m. for 30 minutes. Thanks. Okay. Send it off. There we go. And then as you can see, these two are labeled as answered. So that one just came in. All right. Now let's see if it picks up the meeting date, and it should go to these two nodes right here. It's using the calendar agent. Okay, looks like it detected the date and it finished off, and it just sent me a notification on Discord. So let's check the calendar. So I said April 12th. Let me double check the time here. April 12th at 1 p.m. for 30 minutes. If I go to my calendar, there's April 12th, 1 p.m. Yeah, 1 p.m. till 1:30, and there's my name. All right, so that's how the entire workflow works, and it can run this 24/7. As you can see, I'm just using the simple nodes here from n8n, Gmail, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Discord, all free tools. The only thing you would really be paying for would be just the API credits, which is very minimal. Since I'm using Gemini, I stay well within the free tier threshold. They have a very generous threshold, so just something to think about. Of course, if you get really busy, this might hit into your paid threshold, so just keep an eye on that. But otherwise, everything else here, no extra charge. But let's start off. I'm just gonna refresh this here, just so we can see all the nodes. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go just one by one, each node super quick, and I'll show you how it's all configured. Just so when you import this template into your n8n service and you need a little bit of troubleshooting, you can refer to this section, and I'll show you how this is configured. Okay, so let's start off with the trigger. I already showed you the trigger, right? So just make sure you plug in your credentials here. Everything else can be left as is, unless you want to add anything else. For example, you might want to add an option where you download the attachments. That's totally up to you. And of course, this is all Gmail workspace, by the way. If you guys do want a Microsoft version of this, which I do have, just let me know in the comments. I can include that elsewhere as well. But anyways, let's continue. This is the AI agent itself. So what this is right here is just using this to grab the body of the message. And then this is the prompt. So you can modify this all you want. I'll leave the prompt in the template. This is very generic. I didn't really specify what type of business that I have, so feel free to add that for yourself. And then these are all the rules for booking meetings, which you can completely remove if you don't want to use the meeting booking feature. Up to you. This tells it how to use the tools, how to format everything right here, and then just rules for the output. You can change up the tone if you want. That can be done up right here. So if you want a specific type of tone, maybe more casual, I don't know, throw in some jokes, whatever you like, just add that in there. And then that's the AI agent. So of course, this is the model that I'm using. This is the memory right here. So the key, this is pretty important if you want the conversation to be continuous. So that's what I have right here. I just ran this one more time just because I wanted to show you this right here. So this is just using the key from the address. So this is the address that coming from. So the way you can do that is you just look for the email. This is how I set it up. If you're setting this up with any other type of mail service, different node, I just drag and drop this variable and I dropped it in there. So that's what I did when I was configuring that. Reply to customer. So this node is, of course, that does all the replying to your messages. So plug in your credentials right here. Everything else can be left blank for this node. So this is really just dragging and dropping these fields. So reply to subject, I put in there subject, message, and I just put the body. Now this I wrote right here, so it formats it nicely instead of just one big blob of text. So just make sure you keep this part right here. And then I said earlier I didn't like how many times I said re, so I'm just gonna remove that there. All right, perfect. That's it for that. Now mark as read. What this does, again, make sure you put in your credentials here. It takes the message and right here, like it says, marks it as read. So this right here is the ID. So when that message arrives, it has an ID. That whole specific message has an ID. So drag and drop, and it'll mark that specific message as read. That's how it knows how to do that. Very similar to the add add label, drag and drop the ID right here, and then I mark it as answered. But if you customize your own labels in your mailbox, they'll pop up right here. I don't have any custom ones, but if I were to add one, no, answered, it actually is my custom one. So I selected that, but you can of course choose your own. So just make sure you make that change for yourself, and of course add your credentials there. Once you've done that, that's pretty much like this whole section right here will handle all of that for you, replying to your emails. Knowledge base tool. So again, make sure you're setting up your credentials here, document, and the ID. Now, going in right here, the ID is just going to be in your URL. All right, so just doing a quick little, I'm just going to zoom in for it easier to see. Okay, so if you have a Google Doc, your URL is going to look like this. After this D slash right here, the ID is going to be right here. And then right before the slash, edit in continuation. So you're going to copy this section. Knowledge base right here. And then just paste it right in here for the URL. And this is going to contain all of your information. This is where you want to keep your company documentation. And then this is where you can just take stuff out, modify it, whatever you need, edit. And then the AI agent is always going to refer to that document as a source of truth. All right, structure output. I'll leave this as is right here. But this course, if you want to add anything else, like let's say you want to add the person's name, just make sure, let's just do that right here. So you want to add name, you can just add full name like that, squiggly brackets, type string. This goes in quotes like that. Right, if you wanted to add another one, just make sure you add a comma and then do the exact same thing. But I'm going to erase this because I don't need that. Just wanted to show you that in case you wanted to modify that part. Okay. And now moving on to the if. So the way this works, so this is showing up as red because in that last, I just sent a quick email to show you the nodes. But if there was a meeting date there, this would be green. So what it's saying, the agent is instructed here to output a meeting date, which is in a structured output right here. Now this if node, if this right meeting date exists and its output, which it did not in this case, right, then continue. If not, that's it. Drop it. That's the end of the workflow. But if it does, then it continues on, and then it adds the customer details into this worksheet. Now, this, make sure you have your credentials here. All this stuff can stay the same, but just make sure that your document and your sheet line up. So document is customer list, sheet is customers. So if you go to my Excel sheet here, the name of this document is customer list. The name of the sheet is customers. And as you can see, it added my info right there. Adds the timestamp. Now, going back to the workflow right here, there's the document name, sheet name. So just make sure all that lines up. And then I have these headers. You can customize these as you want, but I have name, contact, email, and date added. I have the exact same ones right here, right? So they'll show up when you select your document, and then you put in whatever you want in there. So I would recommend you have the email. So I drag and drop from the output from the agent. So right here, right? So drag and drop reply. And then this, I just manually put in. That's for the timestamp. And then if you do want the name, I grabbed it from the message received node. The message received right there. And this is the name. and I just drag and drop there. All right, so just make sure again that these line up. So if you do have another header, you can grab more properties from here. That's why I unchecked simplified right here, so it pulls more information in case you want that. After that, hits the Discord node. Webhook sends a message, just hey, message has been sent. This part is optional, but if you do want to learn how to set this up, just want to keep this video too long, I'll put a link in the description on how I set Discord up, and you can get that set up all for yourself right there. Okay, so that's it. Once you have all these sections right here, along with these tools, you're pretty much good to go with an email responding agent. Now that's it right there. If you don't want that booking ability, you can leave it like that. Just remove the booking section from the prompt, remove this, and you're good to go. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'll show you how I have this set up. So this is call another workflow, and then I selected my other agent right there, and which is this one. So next, I'll just go over super quick how this is set up. All right, calendar agents. So this, you can pretty much leave everything here as is, even the prompt. Wouldn't really mess around too much with the prompt. It just has all the rules on how to handle the queries when it needs to book a meeting. But the only thing you might want to change is Google Gemini. If you are using Gemini, I find that Flash works better than Pro. Just a bit of advice right there. So just make sure you set it up like that. You can leave it like this because I have it set to Flash, but change it to your model. Test with other models when you're doing this, just to make sure that it does this properly. But all I have here is update events. Really, all you have to do is just change your credentials right in here for each one. Create event. All these, just change your email address. All this, just make sure you're changing it all there. This one is create an event with an attendee. So this is what I didn't have from the AI assistant video. So if you have this from that video, just add another Gmail node, or sorry, Google Calendar node. You put in your email address there, set automatically, and then create, just like the create node. Very simple, very similar. The only difference is that you want to add another field here. And what I did here is I just copied, pasted it here, and then I changed this to attendee. That's all I did right there. And then that one is called create event with an attendee. So if you don't have this here, the agent is not gonna book. It'll send the query to this sub workflow, but then this will show an error saying, hey, I don't have the ability to book with an attendee. So that's why this is a separate node. Once it does that, then it's all set up and good to go. So quick, nice and easy. That's all there is to it, to this sub workflow. And then once you have it configured, make sure that it's published. Even when you're testing this and you have it unpublished, like I do here, this will have to be published, otherwise it's not going to work. And then you just select that one right in here. All right, once you have that, you're all good to go. You're set up, and you now have a booking agent that replies to customer service emails and books meetings for you. All right, so that's everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. I hope this video helps you out with your busy everyday life, or helps you out with your business, with handling your emails. If that is something that has been overwhelming for you, I hope this was helpful for you. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. It helps me out. But otherwise, happy automating, and I will catch you on the next one.